when you have a real big job, you could kind of take some of that money and use it to maybe hire new people, and hope that that sort of pays off. So we always try and counteract a little bit. Like if we hire somebody new in production, we typically try and hire someone new sort of like on the office side of things to keep it balanced, and hope to keep pushing, like being able to write up more orders to help,
Yeah,
offset the ability to print the orders.
that's
So
interesting. Where do you
yeah.
find, how do you generally hire? Where do you find good people?
That's been I mean, that's definitely a struggle. Usually we just use Craigslist. We just place an ad, and sometimes it's like, maybe someone who works here has like a friend too. So like we've done some of that too. But yeah, especially now that we're not in the city, like we have a few people who didn't do the move with us. And we kind of also knew that when we moved that we're going to lose a couple people over time. So it's a little bit, that's something that like I'm really trying to figure out right now. I just hired a few new people, and it was just using Craigslist again. I think typically we just kind of post something under like the art media design kind of area. And yeah, I mean, it's tough because, there's a lot of people who do have experience, and that's nice. But also a lot of times when you get someone with experience who's looking for a job, you don't really always know like why they're not employed, or they're leaving somewhere else. So we've kind of seen both sides of the spectrum where we'll hire someone with experience and the experience is actually like not very helpful, or they're used to doing something a certain way that isn't how we do it. It's almost harder sometimes than just starting with somebody who, we really try and hire just based on personalities, people that we like that interview, and you feel like you can just talk to them. And then if you have a good relationship with someone and they're willing to work hard, then they'll start to learn how to do a lot of other things, and so. And this is something we've done more in the past year, but that's been really helpful is using temp agencies. So I always kind of like looked down on that process of hiring just like temporary work. In screen printing, there's so many small tasks. And so, for example, like sometimes we'll get a big job that all has to be folded and bagged. You could go on Facebook or whatever and just get a bunch of like your friends or ask a bunch of people to come, but you'll get maybe 5 people commit to coming and helping out, and then, 2 of them will be late, and 2 of them like maybe just will blow it off last minute.
Sure.
And it's unreliable. So the cool thing about like a temp service is if you have certain jobs that really don't require a lot of training, where it's really just like the manual labor aspect, you kind of could pull out like all the stress of having to find someone last minute. And you also don't have to feel bad really that, maybe you only have 2 days of work, and it's like, well, they know that right off the bat. That's how we used to hire some people, is we would be like, hey, we could use a hand for a job for like a week. And then that week's over and, they're still there. And it's like, well, you kind of find other things. So we've had a lot of people who worked here in the past who just kind of stuck around. Hiring people's hard. Everyone that I talk to at other shops too, I think that's a really big struggle, is finding good people.